That night, the sky over Seattle seemed to be collapsing. The clock struck 11:15 p.m. Every strike of the rain against the window pane felt like the echo of a restless drum roll inside Elina's chest. The city's neon lights had turned blurry under the lashing rain. Elina stood by the living room window, staring at the deserted, soaked street. Mark's phone had been switched off for the last 4 hours. Mark was a highly successful investment banker, a man for whom the value of time was infinite. For a man obsessed with working by the clock, a 5-minute delay meant a major catastrophe. Yet today, 4 hours had passed, and there was no sign of Mark. Elina dialed again and again, only to be met by that same synthesized voice. The subscriber is out of reach.
When the suffocating silence began to consume her, Elina called her older brother David. David was a veteran detective with the Seattle police. The psychology of criminals and the quicksand of the underworld were at his fingertips. Hearing the unusual tremor in his sister's voice, David knew this was no ordinary missing person case. Within 10 minutes, he arrived at Elina's luxury apartment. Without wasting any time, David contacted Mark's office security directly. The secretary confirmed that Mark had left the office exactly at 7 p.m. But the real mystery began when David started reviewing the parking lot CCTV footage. The footage showed that Mark had left his expensive Tesla behind in the garage. He took off his expensive suit jacket and threw it onto the back seat, then pulled a plain black hoodie out of a bag and put it on. With extreme caution, looking around, he exited through the service door and got into an unmarked black taxi waiting on the street. A frown of worry appeared on David's forehead. Why would a multi-millionaire banker flee like a thief, hiding his identity in an unknown taxi? Was he trying to escape someone? Or was he going to meet someone whose discovery could put him in danger? Before the break of dawn the next day, that taxi was found near an abandoned shipyard at the edge of the city. The place was extremely desolate and foggy. When David arrived, he found the car door open. Inside were clear signs of a struggle. Mark's expensive framed glasses lay crushed under the seat, and clotted blood stained the floor carpet. But the strangest thing was that Mark's Rolex watch, worth millions, and his iPhone lay untouched on the dashboard. A professional criminal would never have left these valuables behind. David realized this wasn't a common kidnapping. There was a deep-seated hatred or revenge working behind it. The investigation took a turn when David sent Mark's personal laptop and cloud storage to the forensic lab. Within a few hours, the report that came back from the lab was enough to turn David's world upside down. Mark's prestigious banking career was actually a massive facade of lies. He was the kingpin of a massive international Dark Web Syndicate. His real business was buying and selling private intimate videos, encrypted data, and call records of VIPs. Under the cover of investment banking, he was actually trading in human dignity. David shuddered involuntarily. To whom had he married off his beloved sister? David knew that people of this kind always have a secret vault. He went to Mark's private study and began searching meticulously. Suddenly, his sharp eyes fell on a family portrait hanging on the wall. After moving the frame, a modern biometric safe was found behind it. After much effort to open it, David's blood turned to ice. Inside was a blue diary and a hard drive. The diary belonged to no one else but David's late wife, Sarah. 2 years ago, Sarah had committed suicide by jumping from a high-rise building, citing depression. At least, that is what everyone believed. David began to flip through the pages of the diary, and every word pierced his heart like an arrow. Sarah had written that Mark had been blackmailing her since before her marriage.
Mark possessed some highly compromising edited videos and audio recordings of Sarah, which, if leaked, would have ended David's police career and their family honor in an instant. Sarah wrote, "I can't do this anymore, David. This man is a beast. He doesn't just rape my body, he rapes my soul every day. If I die, perhaps his blackmail will stop. But David, if you ever find out the truth, do not forgive him." While David was nearly blinded by the fire of vengeance, a message arrived on his phone from an unknown number. A location for a deserted basement was given, and below it was written, "It is time to judge your wife's killer." David reached the location at breakneck speed. It was in a dilapidated building on the very edge of the city. As he descended the dark stairs, he heard a pathetic sound of crying. Shining his flashlight, he saw Mark, tied to an iron chair with chains. Blood was dripping from his entire body. Someone had torn off his fingernails and toenails. And sitting calmly in front of him with a laptop, drinking coffee, was Elina. David screamed, "Elina? What are you doing here?" Elina looked up. There were no tears in her eyes, but a terrifying coldness. She said, "Brother, you catch the criminal, and I give the criminal what he deserves. I found Sarah's diary a year ago. Since that day, I haven't planned to kill my husband, Mark, but my brother's killer, piece by piece." What Elina had done was beyond the imagination of an ordinary person. She had learned hacking with extreme secrecy over the last year. She had hacked every single one of Mark's dark web accounts and sent all his illegally earned money, nearly hundreds of millions of dollars, to various charity funds around the world. Mark didn't have a single penny left. Not only that, Elina had leaked Mark's real identity and location to the most dangerous killers on the dark web, whose data Mark had stolen. Elina smiled cruelly at Mark. She said, "Brother, I haven't just made him penniless. I have mixed a rare neurotoxin into his drink. It won't kill him, but it will paralyze every organ in his body. He will be able to see, he will be able to hear, but he won't be able to move even a finger, nor utter a single word. He will be a living ghost, imprisoned inside his own body." Just then, the sound of police sirens was heard. Elina calmly closed the laptop, handed a hard drive to David, and said, "Everything is in here. I'm leaving, brother. I can't stand the Seattle rain anymore." By the time the police arrived, Elina had vanished into the dark alleys. Mark was taken to the hospital, but doctors said he would be a living vegetable for the rest of his life. To the public, it appeared Mark had been paralyzed in a gangster attack. But only David knew the true architect of this destruction. Elina disappeared from Seattle forever. She's now perhaps in another country, under another name, starting a new life. But even today, when David hears the sound of rain, Sarah's cries and Elina's cold laughter echo in his ears. That blue diary is gone, but every letter of it is etched into David's heart. This story stands as witness to what a terrifying monster can hide behind the mask of a happy family. Rain falls on the streets of Seattle, but no rain can wash away these bloodstains and this melancholy of the heart.